started to discover more and more problems, and also crimes. For instance, now it's just one thing, but it's very dangerous to take Uber in the city. I don't remember this happened 3 years ago when I left to. This is a discussion that we are having facing in Europe for a while, and but in Portugal, for me it was a surprise that they decided to do this so quick, because I think we have, of course, as a woman, I'm totally against burqas. I don't understand. I think it's a total culture, different culture from us, and this creates lots of problems, and it's also against the dignity of women. But we have so many problems now in Portugal. The number of Muslims that arrive in the country with their culture, and the number of I will say synagogues, not synagogues, the worship houses from Muslims all over. So a big part of them illegals. Here in the center of Lisbon, we are really started to feel the problems, and so with such a mess at the moment, that the decision to take this to the parliament, and the decision in the society also took me, and it was surprising for me. But I'm glad that discussion is now everywhere is discussing this and trying to arrive to a solution. And for me, the best solution is to prohibit. I must say that before, 3 years ago, I was living 1 year in Stockholm, in Sweden. So I feel that I already have a PhD in the subject, because the situation in Sweden is so bad, so bad. And I already lived this there, and then I came back to Portugal, and now we are facing here. It's not so bad like Sweden, but we are, each month we started to discover more and more problems, and also crimes. For instance, now it's just one thing, but it's very dangerous to take Uber in the city. I don't remember this happened 3 years ago when I left to Sweden. And now at night, especially at night, the cases of violence and rapes are so huge, and they are in newspapers daily, that for persons like me, I'm Portuguese, it's my city where I lived all my life, and I'm afraid to take Ubers. So it's just a sign of the things that we have to deal daily now here.
Yeah, that's not very positive, but at least some measures are being taken by the authorities, and hope that will impact in a positive way. Sasha, Portugal and Spain, like, we tend to replicate each other's. Like, sometimes Portugal takes the first step, and sometimes it's Spain that is quicker. Do you see Spain implementing a similar measure as Portugal just did, or we are very far from being that brave? I think you are muted.
Yeah, so first of all, we recognize that there's a huge problem with radical Islam in Europe, especially countries like Spain, France, Portugal. And I mean, I don't see Spain anytime in the near future putting such a similar burqa ban as was done in Portugal. As you probably know, Spain is under a very left-wing coalition. The ruler, Pedro Sanchez, he's already from the left, but the coalition that his government has entered with is actually far left. You have Basque separatists, you have Partido Sumar, which is extreme left, and never, I mean, I could bet anything on it that this government will never impose such a ban. But I really hope that in the next government that more policies will be taken to actually stop the risks that radical Islam are posing. I don't know what the effects of the burqa ban will actually be. I'd like to to know better how it's going to stop crime, how it's going to stop dangerous spread of radical ideas throughout the streets of Europe. I don't know if it's just a way to act like you're solving the problem, or if it's actually going to solve the problem that we have. So I'd like to hear maybe your thoughts on that, or anyone's thoughts how the burqas actually banning it is improving the situation, not just aesthetically.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. I was just looking at the poll here, and yeah, there is still the overwhelming support of banning the burqa, but at least there is one vote against, which is good, because that tells that every voice is welcome in these discussions. So if you guys believe that burqas should be allowed, let us know, and let us know why, because it's not enough to say that they should be part of aesthetics, they should be part of culture. There must be a reason why people that voted yes voted that way. So let us know in the comments, because I'm keen to know not only what we think, but what other side believes in this subject. So Marco, would you offer? I didn't think of this, but would you offer the Italian perspective on this?
I'm actually not sure about the Italian perspective at the moment, in the sense we have in Italy, there is a centre-right government, but at the moment it hasn't really taken the bull by the horns with regard to the Islamist problem. It is certainly better than the governments in France and Spain and Britain, but it hasn't really. Italy has a long-standing relationship, let's say a tacit relationship, with Palestinist terrorism. I'm not sure if the members of our panel are aware of this. But the Italian governments throughout the decades had tacit arrangements with Palestinist terrorism, which of course is basically a screen for Islamism, because Islamism follows in the slipstream of Palestinism.
Just